Jake's POV. Almost by instinct, I tensed up, asking, Deja? But as soon as the words left my lips, the thought hit me. Deja would know who I was. This voice, I knew it from somewhere. No, you are not Zachariah. Not entirely. You have my sympathy, the voice said. Now it was focused, no longer from multiple directions, but emanating from the darkness above me. Looking up, I saw the perfectly round orbs glowing dimly from the darkness. They were far away, but still massive. I couldn't tell what they were. Turning and shifting, they seemed to follow my movements. While I couldn't move myself properly, I could still wave my arms and legs, which I did to test the orbs. They followed me like eyes, and the crashing revelation hit me. That's exactly what they were. These huge tire-sized orbs floating in the darkness were eyes. And I knew exactly who or what they and this voice belonged to. Are you Nidhogg? I asked, remembering the colossal dragon Zachariah had met many years ago, living in the branches of Yggdrasil, the castle tree. I was once the protector of the ether branches and the world roots, the Nidhogg, he said, and you are not Zachariah. I can still sense what is left of him elsewhere, but also... All three eyes focused, staring intently at me. Here, perhaps, some of him. I swallowed hard, not sure I wanted the answer. You can sense his memories? Or his soul inside me? Scraps, burnt away and left behind. Less than a soul now. A faintly warm ember, still kept alive by merely clinging to another's fire. Part of me felt relieved to hear that, and another part grieved. But even still, which part were my own thoughts and which was Zachariah's, I still couldn't be sure. My stomach started turning to knots, so I changed the subject. Nidhogg, how are you still alive? It's been maybe 1,000 years since he saw you. I am not, it says simply. I died centuries ago, long after you and the nameless dragon disappeared. That wasn't me, I snapped. It was Zachariah. You possess his memories. Search for me in them, he said. I didn't want to listen, but not thinking about something after it's been brought up is pretty hard. And I knew what he was talking about. Nidhogg was like me. I don't know what face I was making, but it must have been what he was looking for, because he revealed himself in the darkness. And he was nothing like I remembered. I could see it, like looking for a haze. Everything was out of focus. The first thing I noticed was its size. It was big. Bigger than Deja, bigger than Asham, bigger than the Tower of London, and much bigger than the last time Zachariah had seen him. He took up my whole field of view. Tentacles were the first thing I noticed after its size. It was the first dragon I'd ever seen that had tentacles, thousands of them all over its body, writhing like snakes. Scales that were translucent covered its body, in no sense of the word, but they were there nonetheless, revealing a deep nothingness behind them. Nothingness that drew the eye and sucked you in. I looked away up to its massive head and locked eyes with it. It had 3 radiant, glowing eyes, all in a perfect line along its face, coming from the crown-like set of horns that circled its head, down to just above its mouth. A mouth that was a perfect circle, filled with countless needle-like teeth. It had no neck, just a long tubular body, nor any feet. Rather 11 longer, thicker tentacles that hovered in the darkness around us, looming in awkward twisted positions, like they were wrapped around an invisible tree trunk and branches. What happened to you? I stammered, horrified by how different it looked from back then. A much better question is, who are you? I am Jake, I said, hesitantly. I think. But are you? Or are you more now? How did you do it? I asked, knowing he would understand the question. He'd lived through this before, many times in fact. He told me. Zachariah himself years ago. You need to be more specific than that. How did you come to terms with other people's memories in your head? I don't feel... Everything just feels different now.
It is different. You are different.
You sound like a fortune cookie.
This Fortune Kelski must be very wise indeed, then.
His body undulated and rolled, shifting as if he were grabbing onto new branches and ducking onto others to draw closer to me. His eyes lowered until they were only just above my head.
I admit, during the second life, adapting was difficult. Do you still call yourself by both names, or are you accidentally mixing them up?
I do not even know who I am anymore, I said, and sighed. Hot tears rolled down my cheek. Please, just tell me what you did to make them go away.
I did nothing. Well, eventually I did nothing. In the beginning I tormented myself, much like you are doing now. But in time I had a revelation.
Tell me, I nearly begged. Ever since Deidre and Zachariah placed their souls in me, I have felt wrong, broken. And when Zachariah merged with me, I thought it would be over, but it's only gotten worse.
We are our memories. Before I was Nidhogg, I was Laden, and before him, Hera, and before her, I was Use, and in the beginning, I was Kur. All of them were different bodies, but different souls, but part of them lies in me now, the last of the Yggdrasil. I accepted them all, embraced their memories, emotions, and time in the world.
How? I asked. He hummed for a moment, an old habit he had while thinking.
What I did probably will not help much. It took centuries of introspection and multiple lifetimes to accept.
My heart sank, and for a moment I was hopeless.
But the first thing I did may help you. I gave myself a name, one that I kept across lifetimes, not one given to any of my previous souls, or even the body that they were in, but something new entirely. Nidhogg.
But my name is already Jake! I shouted to correct myself. I am Jake! I whispered.
Perhaps. Or perhaps you are something more as well. Or you could be.
He gazed down to my arm.
I sense the spell of contracting. You are a familiar in this life as well.
Looking down at my shoulder, I nodded. Yeah, for a while now.
Did your contractor give you a new name?
Sentinel.
Ah, a strong name. To be chosen. That could be a good...
What?
You are fading. Your contractor seems the impatient type.
Nidhogg, I can't define myself by being a familiar, and A lump filled my throat even trying to acknowledge the thought. I'm not Jake anymore, or Zachariah.
Then choose a new name.
I felt it then, the pull of being summoned, and heard Suma calling for me. What does it mean? I asked. Nidhogg.
Change, he said.
And I was pulled away through the darkness. Everything came back into view again. A colourful room filled with very upset-looking Nume, a lot of growling familiars, the Queen, who was surrounded on all sides by guards, and a nervous Suma. Jake, is that you? I looked at my hands, sighed, and said, It's me, but I'm probably going to change my name.